to be here again. Very good cause. I'm always honored to be asked, particularly for a situation like this. A little bit about Larry. I won't go on and on too much, but for those of you who don't know him and his career, he basically started as a teenager, like a freshman in high school, as a stringer. We call them stringers, calling in high school games, and he worked for $1 a game. About 15 years later, he joined the LA Times as a sports writer, and we doubled his salary. Larry was big on coverage of TV sports. He kind of created that whole franchise of sports columnists covering television personalities, and Larry was the best at it. He did it for many years for the LA Times, and he walked comfortably in the company of Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, and O.J. Simpson. As a matter of fact, I remember one day I assigned him to do a story, and he went out to do an interview with O.J., and he came back, he was all excited, and I said, Larry, was it a good interview? And he said, it was a killer, Bill. I didn't say this would be good, I just said I'd be up here. Larry is among the more honored sports writers I know. He's been honored by his high school, correct? And he's been honored tonight, and my memory of him being honored is I was at a USC Fresno State game in the Coliseum, and I was there with Larry, and we were kind of working, and got to halftime, and I said to Larry, we got some stuff to do here, we got to do some typing, and Larry said, I'm busy, I got to go do something, and he disappeared. Next thing I looked up, he's down in the field being honored, the Fresno State band all around him, and you know, pretty impressive. And so I watched that for a while, and then he came upstairs, and we had some work to do because we had edition deadlines, and I said to Larry, all right, we'll split up the duties here and there, and he said, you know, I probably am not going to be able to do much. My right hand is kind of sore from signing autographs. So he's big. The serious part of this is that journalism, sports journalism specifically, is not as good as it once was because there aren't as many Larry Stewarts around. Larry was the kind of reporter who was a true reporter. If you wanted a story, you were very confident that he would make the phone calls and do the research necessary to get it right. Now we seem to move so quickly and so fast that we publish it, and we try to get it right, and we get it right most of the time. But with Larry Stewart, there was always another phone call to make, and he always made it. And I'm proud to say that he worked for me, if for no reason than that alone. The plaque here will read, it's kind of hard to read, so I will read what's on it. It says, congratulations to Larry Stewart, Sowing Seeds for Life's 2014 tournament honoree. And the script written below it is, this year's honoree, Larry Stewart, is a noted sports writer in Los Angeles for nearly 40 years, 9 years at the Herald Examiner and 30 plus at the Los Angeles Times. Larry is a major force in the success of the SSFL golf tournament. He goes above and beyond what should be asked of any one person. Larry graciously and generously uses his vast experience, contacts in the sports and entertainment industry to secure countless celebrities, assuring our event's success and popularity. He has written, published numerous articles and press releases to ensure SSFL attains a great deal of publicity. One of our biggest donors to our live auctions, Larry has outdone himself this year. He truly is a cherished and devoted friend of SSFL and an outstanding committee member. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Let's bring up Larry Stewart.
Thank you very much. We're running behind schedule, so I'm not going to talk very long. I want to thank Bill Dwyer, greatest boss ever. You know, how many of you have bosses that you still want to be friends with, huh? And Bill Dwyer is still a great friend, and he was a great boss and a great journalist. I want to thank him for introducing me. I don't have much to say except I want to thank some of the people that are still here and have come out. We have a great panel. I think particularly of interest here in Glendora and this whole area. We have some great stars. I want to thank my playing partner over here, Jerry Sharman, the son of the great Bill Sharman. He carried us today. Tracy Murray, when he hit it really well. He missed too many shots. It wasn't like basketball where he made all his shots. He was on my team. He's going to be one of the panelists. One of my closest friends, Dennis Gilbert. He's famous in his own right. If you've ever watched a Dodger game, he's the face you see right behind home plate. His killer tickets are in the first row right behind home plate. That might tell you that he's been pretty successful in his business, his life insurance business, and he was the biggest baseball agent going for many, many years, and he moved on to other things. Dennis and I have been friends since he was the center fielder for the Visalia Mets in 1969, and I was the beat reporter for the Visalia Times Delta. Thank you for coming from your beautiful home in Visalia to drive all this way. Dennis Gilbert, can you stand up for a second? Come on, Dennis. So everybody can see that face you see on Dodger telecast. And we have a lot of celebrities here. We have another one of my closest friends, way in the back, Michael Young. He was Mike Young at UCLA. He was a great wide receiver at UCLA, also a baseball star. Played 10 years in the NFL. John Elway's favorite target with the Denver Broncos. Spent 4 years with the Rams. He's way in the back, but he came out, so I appreciate Michael and his wife Jill coming. I know Chris Roberts has been a big supporter. I want to mention the Clark twins. Chris had to leave. I knew the Clark twins who starred with Casey Jacobson, or you're going to hear from him in a minute. Casey's here with his father, Vaughn. I think Chad Clark is still here. Chris had to go home. He had a sick child, I think, or something like that. But I knew the Clark family when the kids were about this tall. Now they're about this tall. So I want to thank Tom and Karen Clark and Chad Clark for coming. And you're going to hear from Casey. Casey's father, Vaughn, is here. You're going to hear from Mike LeDuc. I'll tell you about the panel in a minute. Oh, we have a celebrity here. Wait a minute. There's a guy you might recognize his voice, who's a pretty big celebrity. I won't tell you who. I think you'll recognize his voice.
I'm the greatest. I'm so pretty. I know these homes. I know these things. Sowing seeds for life. I would like to be remembered as one who took a few cups of love, 1 pint of kindness, 1 tablespoon of generosity, and I gave it to each and every deserving person I met.
Anybody recognize that voice? I think I've mentioned a lot of people in the room. I want to mention Greg DeSmith. He's the man. He's the brains behind this whole operation. He's very, very humble. He doesn't get in. We all know about Vicki Brown, but I want to give recognition to Greg DeSmith. Will you stand up for a minute? And Scott DeSmith, will you stand up for a second? You do a lot for this charity too. All right, last but not least, somehow the A table ended up way in the back. Can I get my family just to come up here for a minute? I'm sorry, I gotta embarrass you. I know you don't want to come all this way. I gotta show off my grandson. I'm sorry. I know I'm one of those grandparents. He's the cutest kid in the world. I want my family to come up here so everybody can see my grandson. Our daughter Jill, proud of her. She's a Bruin. Tracy, you still here? Where are you? Yeah, she's a 2000 graduate of UCLA. She's now a VP at Nickelodeon. We're proud of her. Her husband is Courtney Sanford, and cute little Teddy. And, and your name? Oh, and my wife, 43 years, Norma Stewart. 42.